Now we must all come together and act to provide a path for our future generations.
How immense is the sky? How long has the universe existed? Sitting at a track field, Bruce Cheng gazed up at the night sky.
At that time, there was no light pollution, and the sky was full of stars. Shooting stars were visible almost every day from where I was sitting at the track field.
Having arrived in Taichung in Taiwan during wartime, hundreds of kilometers away from his family home in Fujian, China, 13-year-old Bruce Cheng began his new life alone.
I remember how everyone would leave school during the holidays. I was quite lonely.
He often stared at the sky, lost in his thoughts. His upbringing nurtured his appreciation for nature. Having grown up loved and raised by his teachers, Bruce Cheng became a caring young man with a passion for mathematics. After graduating in electrical engineering, Bruce worked for an American company. There, he experienced how they collected and treated wastewater before discharge.
I told my boss that in the US, great effort went into environmental protection, but in Taiwan we did nothing. My boss just laughed it off and said everyone in Taiwan just chooses to ignore it due to the lack of regulatory requirements. While lying in bed at night, I wondered how to approach the issue. I was very determined.
Concerned about industry's lack of care for the environment, while remaining optimistic about the prospects of the growing electronics industry, Bruce envisioned creating a new type of company that would place environmental protection at its core. So he left his job to start his own business with 15 employees in a small factory next to a green field. And so, Delta's mission to nurture sustainability through lower carbon emissions began. The growing global economy boosted demand for Taiwan's consumer electronics. TVs, refrigerators, and appliances all became bestsellers, but the inefficient power supplies lagged behind.
So we started to develop switching power supplies which had much higher energy efficiency.
With his green mindset, Bruce Cheng believed it would be faster and more effective to improve energy efficiency over building new power plants. By improving energy efficiency from 50% to more than 96%, Delta soon became the world's leading provider of switching power supplies. Today, globalization has intensified the heated debate over climate change and global warming.
Whenever I discussed environmental protection, people would smile politely, while privately thinking I was out of line for caring too much about the environment over profit generation. But eventually, as the consequences of climate change became more apparent, they came around to my way of thinking.
Inspired by forward-thinking politicians Sun Yun-swan and Katie Lee, who transformed Taiwan into the global tech leader it is today, Bruce Cheng founded the Delta Electronics Foundation to further advance sustainable development and realize his vision. Identifying with Dr. Amory Lovin's book, Natural Capitalism, Bruce firmly believed green buildings should be founded on more than just technology. They should be built in harmony with the local environment. An architect made the following statement while building factories overseas.
Truth be told, when I was drawing these green building designs, especially for factories, none of the companies wanted to use them. They said it would be costly. He said, Delta was the only corporation that immediately agreed to use these designs, giving me the chance to truly demonstrate the merits of green buildings.
As of today, Delta has built 28 green buildings and 2 green data centers. Over the years, energy-saving performance has grown from 30% to net zero energy. Although it may take more time and effort to construct green buildings, Bruce knows that it is worthwhile as long as the environmental costs are factored in as well. Since the end of the 20th century, the entire world has been gradually stepping up its efforts to enable sustainability. The 21st Conference of the Parties, COP21, was the largest one yet, where Bruce Cheng led Delta to witness the world's most important carbon reduction treaty, the Paris Agreement.
This time, with this event, each country has made a strong commitment. This is a very good beginning.
At Delta, we have committed to become even more sustainable by converting to 100% renewable energy by 2030. Nevertheless, the destructive force of climate change keeps escalating. Wildfires, heat waves, heavy rain, floods, and droughts are appearing more frequently than ever. Dwarfed by the magnitude of the climate crisis, humanity feels helpless, but we are left with no other choice than to face it. With his vision of a sustainable industry, Bruce Cheng has led Delta to make necessary changes for decades.
If we don't accelerate our environmental efforts, then future generations will truly suffer. The universe has been evolving for over 4.6 billion years, which makes the Industrial Revolution seem like the blink of an eye in the lifespan of the universe.
We need to act now.
For the past 50 years, Delta has witnessed Taiwan's development from an agricultural society to an industrial society. Throughout those years, we have stayed on top of technological and market changes and continued to innovate to provide energy-efficient and environmentally friendly products and solutions. Every step of the way, we're committed to doing the best job possible through confidence and humility, as long as we do not give up on our dreams, but strive to carry out our responsibilities and ultimately add value for the well-being of the environment and mankind. Our planet will heal.
We need to act now. We must all come together and act now to provide a sustainable future for coming generations through sustainable conservation and nurturing life.